Howdy! It's so nice to see you again. Man, I'm here to do a fishy good old collection of of the movies. I'm gonna be doing a fishy good old collection between Jurassic World and Godzilla's. The Toho Kaiju. And also the two characters from each Kaiju series, Kaiju related TV series. Well, we'll start off with some Jurassic World ones. First of all, we're going to be starting out with Papo, Tyrannosaurus Rex. Actually, it's the green color. You can see him. Seems like the Papa T-Rex appeared in the movie called The Lost World. Even though he's got some really good details, including his head and his colorings, which may be similar to Jurassic Park 3, but it's also the Bull T-Rex. And anyway, says Papo 20, 2005. It's just got some articulations on the mouth. See, he opens his jaws and closes its jaws. Well, that's good. Anyways, what we also have is the Jurassic World hybrid Dilophosaurus. The Dilophosaurus is really repainted, and it's got some screw holes. Well, but anyways, it's got the button that you basically want to push. The sound effects are dead, and was made by Hasbro. Well, by the way, it shoots with what basically came with it. It would be cool if we could basically. It would be cool if this happened in toy version about the death of Nedry. That'd be awesome. Anyways, we've also got Mattel's Jurassic World Hybrid Blue and Orange. You know, the main thing is, well, the Hasbro Jurassic World stuff's basically in the other box, since we were moving. Anyways, this figure doesn't have screw holes, although Hasbro's version of Blue has. Same with the figure by the figure now is basically the T-Rex, the Chomping Action, and the Indominus Rex by Hasbro. You know, it's got some articulations on the head. and the arms, and also the legs. I basically wish that we should basically get the Mattel version. Anyways, on to Mattel. We basically got the Attack Pack Blue. And Attack Pack Blue doesn't have screw holes. Seems like I think Mattel basically did a good job at it. And Mattel made Blue look like what she basically looks like in the Jurassic World series. And she's got the same colors just like from 2015 to 2018, but 2021. Next, yeah, this one glass backwards. Anyways, we've got Dino Rivals Delta. Delta is basically from the movie that came out back in 2015 called Jurassic World. It may not be a same color as Hasbro one, but I could say her details are basically the same. It's got articulations on the arms, and also the legs and the jaw, just like the Attack Pack Blue. And next is the battle damaged Sticky Mark. Even though the Sticky Mark's name is Stiggy, although Sticky Mark means River Styx Demon. And looks like Stiggy's got the articulations on the arms, and the head, and the legs. And I might have to be careful with the legs. By the way, once you press the left side, and it's like there was Stiggy's flesh. Is detailed by Mattel. You pull it back up, and then you press again. Well, it's basically a cool looking figure, I'll say. Stiggy is going to make the appearance in Jurassic World 3. Next, we've got the Draco Rex from Dino Rivals series. Yeah, the Draco Rex has the amount of articulations on the legs and the arms. Plus, there's some up and down articulations on the neck. And look, the Draco Rex got the articulations on the head. And of course it's got the articulations on the tail. But anyways, Mattel did a very good job making these figures. And then, next, is the Carnotaurus from Fallen Kingdom series. And the Carnotaurus had a very good amount of details, and including the legs, even though it's got articulations on the arms and the legs and the tail. And basically, there's this button, and if you press it, like you could roar, or it could bite. Okay. We have this. I mean, feel free to do what you wanted to do. And remember, on the Carnotaurus one, hashtag toast. Anyway, put hashtag toast. Thanks to Gaming Beaver for it. Next is the Roarvar's Allosaurus in the Fallen Kingdom series. Well, we was hoping for the red one, but none really happened. So we got the Battle Act Big Rock Allosaurus that I basically did not have. But the Roarvar's Allosaurus I had has some articulations on the arms and the legs. And there's no screw holes once and for all. And it makes different sounds. I'm still worried about the tongue. Although, the Allosaurus' tongue was supposed to be in red color. Well, I basically did not have any words for it. So, next is the Pulsable Indoraptor. If I could get him on here. And the Indoraptor, well, the way I posted, it's Stephen King's Dr. Sleep. Anyways, the way that I posted, it's like what the Indoraptor, it's like the Indoraptor is going for the kill. Even though Mattel got a lot of details under this guy. And the good thing is, there's no screw holes. That's my flashlight. Although it's the red one. Next we've got is the battle damaged Dino Rivals Albertosaurus. The way that the Albertosaurus looks basically similar to the other image. Although he's got an open jaw and you can move its neck around, including his arms. And he's got the articulations. Oops. He's got the articulations on the legs. Well, it's only got the articulations, the up and down articulations on the tail. And by the way, speaking of the battle damage, once you press it, then it'll go to the ribs. Even though the ribs might be similar to the dinosaur bones, to the skeleton of the Albertosaurus. If you press the ribs, if you press its rib cage, you'll see the lungs. But it's made out of rubber. So, by the way, it's just a double battle damage Albertosaurus from Dino Rivals. Although, we've got the bootleg version of the Allosaurus. Actually, two bootleg versions. This one is the bootleg version of Papo's Allosaurus. And this one is in the orange color and does not have any articulations. And it says Allosaurus, although the way that the body looks is also similar to the Battle of the Big Rock, and the head, although it's got some spikes. And of course, next is the other Allosaurus. Even though the model is stolen from Papo, but might be similar to the Battle of the Big Rock version. Although, there's a sound effect button. I might have to play it out for you guys. The Allosaurus does not sound like the Toho Godzilla in the movies, including a short film called Battle at the Big Rock, but still doesn't have any articulations. Anyways, moving on to the Triceratops. Although it says made in China. Basically, I don't know what company they basically make that model at, but basically, mm, they basically just there's the other bootleg figure, and yes, they use they use the model, and yes, right, not the Triceratops model, and they basically just made a Stegosaurus figure that looks similar to a character of the movie called Dinosaur named Ima, the Stegosaurus. But this is a Triceratops. This is the Triceratops with the three horns. By that, Triceratops means three-horned face. And Tyrannosaurus Rex, well, by the way, we've got the Stegosaurus. Basically in a different color, not in the Jurassic World and the Lost World color. Basically not in Jurassic Park 3 color. Although it's got the articulations on the arms and the legs and the neck and also the tail. And next, we've got the Brachiosaurus. Even though the Brachiosaurus is one of the long-necked dinosaurs that basically appear in Jurassic World series, in Jurassic Park films, and the other movies, including Disney's official movie called Dinosaur. Even though the Brachiosaurus' name in Disney's Dinosaur was Baleen. And by that, I also love the movie called Dinosaur, even though it's a Disney film featuring the carnivores. And also, I basically have Bruton, although he's in the other box that was in the hallway. And then, we've also got some Jurassic World figures that are made by Mattel in oh, that was the people that was booing at the robots. Anyways, we've got two different versions of the Tyrannosaurus Rex. By the way, Tyrannosaurus Rex means Giant Lizard King, king of the dinosaurs, that lived in the Cretaceous period, 65 million years ago. And then we've also got Yellosaurus. Yellosaurus means different lizard, and it's also got an arched enemy named the Stegosaurus. And Yellosaurus lives in the Jurassic period. We've got Pachyrhinosaurus, and the name means thick-nosed lizard. Even though Mattel might have mistaken the name called Sinoceratops, even though it's the Pachyrhinosaurus. The Sinoceratops means Chinese horned lizard. Pachyrhinosaurus means thick-nosed lizard. And Sinoceratops means Chinese lizard. Even though the Sinoceratops it's got one horn on its nose. And the Pachyrhinosaurus doesn't have a horn, except the Pachyrhinosaurus known as the thick-nosed lizard. We've also got velociraptors. Speaking of that, velociraptor means speedy thief, or basically meant to be as swift lizard. Anyways, that's the engine version. This is engine version of the velociraptor, even though the velociraptor does not have feathers in the Jurassic Park films. Although, why are you calling the velociraptors Deinonychus when the velociraptors are basically made by engine? Although, well, the regular velociraptors had feathers. The engine raptors don't. You've also got Blue. Two versions of her. I basically got two smaller versions of Blues. And we've also got the Diplodocus in the green color. And we've got the Apatosaurus that appeared in Jurassic World and Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. And we've got the Dilophosaurus. Dilophosaurus means two crest lizards. And we've got the Dilophosaurus in a different color and in a different smell. And we've got the other Dilophosaurus from the Fallen Kingdom series by Mattel. Thank you, Mattel, for making these excellent models. And we've got two Metricathosauruses. Means metric lizard. And we've also got the Pteranodon, which had the articulations, and basically looks. It's basically rodents related to a Pteranodon. I'll get to the Kingdom of Monsters and the 2004 Final Wars one in a second. And got the Spinosaurus from Jurassic Park 3. And Spinosaurus has 3 fingers. And by the way, the name Spinosaurus means spined lizard. And the Spinosaurus had that sail fin so it can swim into the water. That keeps buzzing into my ear. And that's the audio from Bob's Burgers. And I forgot to put the Apatosaurus. Now, that was Max was barking out back. But anyways, we got these small kaiju ones Although, you got the bootleg Bandai Gashapon Godzilla figures in different colors. You got the red Burning Godzilla, which is basically known as the Dying Godzilla. And it also looked orange. And the red one, and two red Godzillas, basically. I hope somebody would send me the Bandai Gashapon figures. And you've also got the white Burning Godzilla figures. Excuse me for a sec. There we go. There's the third one. You got these fake Burning Godzilla figures in the white color. And yes, they took out what was basically labeled, since they basically stole the models. And you've got the Burning Godzilla in the blue color. One fell. There's the blue Burning Godzillas. Even though the Burning Godzilla is not in the blue color, it's in the movie accurate color in Godzilla vs. Destroyer. And Burning Godzilla has the orange dorsal spine color, same with the arms and the legs, including the chest. And also, this is the fake version of Bandai's Godzilla Gachapon figures. I feel like that there's some way to bootleg Bandai Gachapons. And looks like pigs. Terminator. Well, fortunately, I don't have the Terminator. I gotta have the Terminator stuff. Also, we're focusing on the Godzilla figures. We got the Burning Godzilla. And he's in the orange card, just like from the movie called Godzilla vs. Destroyer. What's about Burning Godzilla was in the red color, and suddenly into the orange color. And basically, the official versions of Bandai's Gashapon figures aren't so bad when they're in the coloring that Bandai predicted. And basically, the fake ones basically had these similarities to the official. Also, basically, seems like to me, if somebody has the fake, uh, fake Godzilla models, it's best that you could basically repaint them. And next, we got fully grown Godzilla Jr. And basically, the reason why they're called fully grown Godzilla Jr. because of the ending from Godzilla vs. Destroyer. And the dorsal spine is supposed to be in the white color. Instead, they're in a gray color. And the audio's from Bob's Burgers. And basically, there might be some sloppy paint jobs. Except it's got the right side painted, not the other one. And basically, appears that those bootleggers refuse to stop. Moving on to Gigan. Moving on to the Midnight Gashapon bootleg Gigan. The Toho villain that appeared in Godzilla vs. Gigan, Godzilla vs. Megalon, Zone Fighter. Can't even get that live action series right. Actually, he appeared in Godzilla vs. Gigan and Godzilla vs. Megalon and Zone Fighter series. Also, speaking of which, it is a Toho Kaiju, apparently. And next, moving on to Ingress. There's 3 of them. And basically, I'm gonna try my best to not get distracted. Anyways, the model itself looks similar to the original, although the original had the very nice paint jobs. Although the bootleg version had a different type of paint job for Ingress. Although they basically decided to get Ingress's color right. Also, this is the Showa version of Ingress. By the way, we've also got Zilla. that he is. Although, that was actually Godzilla. Although, mm, before he was renamed to Zilla in 2004. Although, most people refer to him as Zilla because of what he looks like. Even though I like some of the kaijus, except for Destroyer. Even though I do not like Destroyer because he killed Godzilla Jr. Although, Zilla's basically a kaiju who appeared in the movie called Godzilla 1998 and Godzilla Final Wars. And three of the bootleg versions of Zilla has the exact different types of paint job as the original. Although we don't have Treadmaster's Godzilla 1998, otherwise known as Zilla 1998. Why does somebody keep calling Zilla God? I think Zilla's got a nickname for some sort of reason. Anyways, next to here, we've got Godzilla vs. Destroyer, Godzilla Jr. Three Godzilla Juniors. Why are there so many Godzilla Juniors? There's only one Godzilla Jr. And Godzilla Jr.'s got the dorsal spines, although he is not, this is not the fully grown version. This is the smaller Godzilla Jr. dorsal spines. Although, Godzilla Jr. was basically from Godzilla vs. Destroyer. And, by the way, Godzilla Jr. is in the green color with the yellow coloring from the neck down to its stomach and all the way to the tail. And next we've got Mechagodzilla. The Gashapon versions of Mechagodzilla. Basically, the paint job, basically, what? They didn't do the paint job on the MG. They left it silver instead of the red. Next is Jakks Pacific's Godzilla King of the Monsters. First of all, we start with the background, which was seen in the movies. In the actual movie called Godzilla King of the Monsters. Start out with the scene from the movie. Although the temple looks similar to the Jungle Book one, talking about the 2016 live remake version, but Godzilla King of the Monsters had that temple where Mothra usually was basically at. And I basically say that my opinion was that the temple looks similar to King Louis, the Gigantopithecus in the live remake version, although we still refer to the animated version of John Wick. Anyways, move on to the next background. You can see there's Mexico, and there's literally a volcano. If you basically decide to rewatch a movie called Volcano, no, I'll say it's different. Because in the King of Monsters film, that's where Rodan makes his appearance on. And he's basically still don't have the Antarctica background. No, it's not included. Anyways, the scene, moving on to the next background. The scene is basically a stadium of Boston. Even though I think it's the baseball, I think it's the baseball stadium which was destroyed in the middle of the fight. And then moving on to Jack Specifics, Godzilla figures. You got some Godzilla figures that are in a different palette. Basically, three of them had these same articulations in the battle sets. We'll start off with the original, even though he's got the articulations on the arms and the head and his legs. Of course, the articulation on the tail, and two articulations on the tail. Even though his dorsal spines are in the gray color and his eyes are yellow. And then the next palette that has the same articulations is the blue color. Although he's got some blue eyes and of course some blue dorsal spines. Those dorsal spines are in a blue color, especially when he's shooting fire. It's a bluish fire. And this is the orange color. Although he's basically in the orange color, basically with the legs. And of course, he's got the orange dorsal spines and some orange stuff onto the neck and the eyes. I see that there's going to be so many different palettes. Well, anyways, he's got the 2019 Mothra. Although the wing colors are different than the original movie. Thank you, Reese Guzman. Although Mothra's got the articulations on the wings, and that's it. But still, the nice design. And first of all, there's also a stinger. Although, that happened in the movie called King of the Monsters. Anyways, moving on to Rodan. And of course, Rodan it's got the wings. You could basically move the wings, and he's got the articulation on the head, and of course he's got the articulations on the legs. And anyways, moving on into the bootleg Godzilla figures, which were stolen. Actually, I've got 2, 3. Let's go sleep again. No. 1, and then 2, and then 3, and 4, and 5, and 6 bootlegs. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 Godzilla bootlegs. The smaller bootlegs that had the articulations. Start off with Shin Godzilla. Although Shin Godzilla's got the articulations on the legs and the arms, not the tail. Although I know that the bootleg version doesn't have the licensing because they stole it. And we've got the bootleg version of Godzilla 2000. Even though they stole the model from Bandai and then shrunk it and basically gave it the articulations only on the arms and the legs. And I've got the official Godzilla 2000 figure. Although, it's right behind me. And then, we've got the bootleg version of Godzilla Figures. Actually, a bootleg version of a very large Godzilla figure, basically known to be Godzilla Earth. Even though he's got the articulations and the details look similar to the Bandai manga Shin Godzilla and Godzilla 2000. And oh my goodness, I'm at the low battery. And we've got the 2014 Godzilla figure, which looks similar to the 2014 playset, which might be the Pack of Destruction, which included the bridge. Even though Godzilla 2014 basically just broke the bridge completely. Out of the 1998 Roy Emmerich Godzilla, just try to basically never mind. Anyways, there might be some difference. One, Godzilla 98 basically was basically into the bridge and basically was killed by missiles. And Godzilla 2014 just broke the entire bridge completely. I basically did not know Godzilla could break into the bridge by using his arms. I basically got distracted using box burgers. Next is the 1954 Godzilla. The smaller version of 1954. And I basically got the official 1954. Even though the bootleg version himself has the articulations on the legs and the arms. That's it. And the Space Godzilla figure. I did not have the Space Godzilla figure. It's basically because I haven't had a Godzilla figure that was from 1994. It's Godzilla vs. Space Godzilla. Even though I didn't have the Space Godzilla figures, but the unlicensed version, which basically stole a model from Bandai. The model itself looks similar to the Bandai, although he's got the articulations on the arms, including the legs. Next is the 2014 Godzilla that hangs right into your earbuds. And the other things, although it's got I don't know. I basically went blank onto my mind. Although, Gene from Bob Figures. Anyways, the 2014 Godzilla, even though if you basically have the 2014 Godzilla figure that was too small, it'll basically hang on to your earbuds and the other stuff. And next is the bootleg version of Ultraman Tiga. I haven't watched all the Ultraman series except for the anime Ultraman. Although the way that the model was basically made, although the original was made by Bandai, although the bootleggers stole the model and claimed that they made it. And it's unlicensed. I have got to get a better figure. That was from the Ultraman series. Next is Kamen Rider Dragon Knight from the series Kamen Rider Dragon Knight, which basically aired on CW. And I missed it. Anyway, this is a good figure that appears in the Japanese version and CW's American version of Kamen Rider Dragon Knight. Although Kamen Rider Dragon Knight has got the sword and has the dragon onto its belt. Although I basically haven't been to a lot of Kamen Rider stuff. And anyways, we've basically got the Godzilla King of the Monsters keychain. And basically, he's got he's got the licensing saying Toho and Legendary. Although the dorsal spines, well, it's similar to the King of Monsters himself, but basically, we've got the dorsal spines, and thanks to the company called MII for making a lot of Godzilla keychains. Sorry, I was thirsty. Also, we've got the Crocodile Dentist Godzilla edition. Even though it's known as King Monster and a bootleg. Well, this is just like what was from the other Crocodile Dentist game. All you do is you poke each jaw, you poke each teeth, and the teeth, well, if you get the wrong one, it bites. It bites you. By the way, the reason why it's called the Godzilla edition, because its design looks basically just like Godzilla in 1994. Although the head design looks similar to the 1994 Godzilla. And there's basically some bootleg versions in different colors, including the same color that was in the gray color with the gray dorsal spines, and of course some different eyes. Even though, what will happen if Godzilla has those creepy eyes? The straight line, the killer looking pupils are similar to the lion. Actually, to the feline, or of course the other dinosaurs, including the Indominus Rex. And family died, like, about the Griffin family lost their home. Also, we've got the Chimit! Okay, we've got Mother Leo in the 1997 color. Although it was now Rainbow Mothra, and he's basically from the Rebirth of Mothra series. Although in 1995's Godzilla movie, even though in the first movie of Rebirth of Mothra, he basically grew into a basically good old imago looking body, even though it's nice. His body design, nice design, and the nice colors. Although Rebirth of Mothra 2 had the same color wings, just like it was from the movie called Rebirth of Mothra 2. And whatever. Anyways, that was from Family Guy. Back to Rainbow Mothra. He's got some articulations onto the arms. Although he's got the same color as the female Mothra. Although he's also a boy in the Rebirth series. Although, even though in the Showa era, Mothra's got the Showa style wings that she basically had. Although about Mothra Leo, he's got the basically gut coloring. You know, Mothra has the different wings, different coloring. You know, she's got the same coloring. Moving on to Bandai in 2004's Rodan. Even though Rodan has it's basically good design, kind of like it, and also he's got the articulations only on the legs. Although I basically wanted to rotate Rodan's head, but it's basically glued in. We've got Bandai Creations Showa Mechagodzilla. The Showa Mechagodzilla's basically got got so many articulations. He's got 2 articulations on the arms, left arm and right arm. Articulations on the legs. Crap. The articulations on Mechagodzilla's head, including his torso. Although he's a robot. Yeah. basically, if somebody's trying to mop up like that, they basically did a lot of bootlegs. Also, this is the 1954 Bandai Creations Godzilla. Also, he's got the same amount of articulations. He's got the articulation on the arms, articulations on the legs, and the articulation on the tail, except for the other one articulation. It's supposed to have the articulation on the part of the tail, but it's glued in. We've also got the official Godzilla 2000. Although Bandai did a very good job on the Bandai model, and Bandai did a very good job with the official model until a lot of bootleggers stole all the models, including the Bandai Movie Monster Series Godzilla 2000, which one I don't have, except for Bandai Creations Godzilla 2000. Next is Bandai Movie Monster Series Gigan. Move it back. Anyways, Gigan. He's got the arms. He's got the articulations on the arms and the legs. And unfortunately, there's no articulations on the tail because it's glued. Excuse me. Next is King Caesar. He's got the articulations on the arms and of course the legs, his torso, and even his tail. Although there are some secret articulations on the ears. Okay, there's some articulations on the ears. Yeah, he's definitely he's got the articulations on King Caesar's ears. Although his design looks similar to sorry, I was distracted by the TV. Anyways, his design for King Caesar looks similar to Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla, always known as Godzilla versus the Cosmic Monster. Or Godzilla versus the monster from the cosmos. I refer to Mechagodzilla. Yeah. Anyways, we've got Bandai Movie Monster Series, Netflix original Godzilla from the anime that came out straight in. This is the 2017 Godzilla that basically came out on Netflix. Although I watched chapter 1 of the anime Godzilla called. Like, I watched the first chapter called Planet of the Monsters. Although this Godzilla is basically in the anime style, and the 2017 Godzilla was actually a plant. Although this is the Philius Godzilla. Although Bandai might have put in a lot of glitters onto this guy. Well, there we go. I know. Oh no, you want to do this one? We've got Bandai Movie Monster Series, Mechagodzilla from Godzilla against Mechagodzilla. Although, in the movie, the Japanese created a super powerful robot to fight Godzilla. Although Mechagodzilla was named to Kiru, since they basically got an idea for the construction of a robot. Although the Japanese basically had to send Mechagodzilla, known as Kiru, out to fight Godzilla, especially in Tokyo SOS. Although he's got the articulations on the head and the tail and the arms. And there was no articulations on the torso because it's glued. I love cutaways from Family Guy. Anyways, we've got Bandai Creations King Ghidorah 2001. And he's got the articulations just on the wings. And he's got the articulations on the tail. And he doesn't have the articulations on the torso because it's glued. Same with how the articulations on the head was glued. Although, on to the next, you got Jack Specific, it's Godzilla King of the Monsters, King Ghidorah from Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah playsets. I forgot to show. Although Although he's got the wings. He's got the articulations on the wings, and the legs, and the tails, and the heads. Although, oh, you basically would resemble Ghidorah's heads and the tails, not the legs. That's right. We'll get to the Jurassic World snow globe. Actually, bath globe. We've got the bootleg versions of Bandai Creations Burning Godzilla. Always known as Godzilla 95. Although, we've got Rainbow Yongo's Burning Godzilla bootleg. Although he's in the green color with the orange dorsal spines, and of course some yellow eyes. Although does not have the same articulations as the official. And we've also got the other bootleg version of Burning Godzilla in a different color. And see the dorsal spines, it's actually similar to 1994. And it's got the white, actually some silver dorsal spines, and it's got the different skin color, and of course it's got the orange eyes. And next we've got the bootleg versions of Burning Godzilla. And the other color, it's got the very dark scale, and he's got the same eye color, and he's got the orange and blue dorsal spines, and all the way to the there's some blue coloring. Okay. Also, he's got the blue color on the other side of the dorsal spines. Anyways, next is Bandai Monster Series 2014 Godzilla. And he's got the articulation on the tail. Although, I might be careful with the tail. And he's got the articulations on the legs. And of course, the arms. And that's it. Although, the dorsal spines look different than the 2019 one. Although, the 2019 one looks basically prior to having the same dorsal spines since 1954. And we've got the unlicensed, we've got the bootleg Shin Godzilla. Although he's got the articulations on the arms and the legs. And Shin Godzilla's got it's got two articulations on the tail. I wish Panda was right. It really is a bootleg. Although I tried to do a basically rip paint version. Although there's some orange color. Even though you can't see it. Although, they basically stole them all, well, and then tried to erase, but failed. Although it says Toho, and of course, Bandai 2016. My goodness, I love the movie called Shin Godzilla. Moving on to Destroy All Monsters Godzilla. And he's got the same dorsal spines just like himself back in the 60s. Although Destroy All Monsters, it's got the actual articulations on the arms and the legs, and of course the tail. Although that was the first figure that I've got back then, thanks to Bandai. Whoa. Anyways, I figure that I watched Destroy All Monsters on Crunchyroll. Although it's a Showa film that was made in 1968. Although this is the 1968 Destroy All Monsters Godzilla that I had. Although I don't have the larvae version of Mothra. Even so, I have give me a sec. Hi guys. I'm starting to sweat. Oh well. Anyways, so much for that. We'll be moving on into NECA's 1994 Godzilla. Although NECA, even though it's the company, did a very good job on creating the 1994 Godzilla. And he's got the articulations on the head and the neck, and the jaw, and the arms. And he's got the articulations on the legs, and of course, the tail. Although, I basically lost the Kumanga figure. And I misplaced them. Anyways, we've got the Godzilla 2001 from Godzilla Model and King Ghidorah. Uh, although, it is basically known as Gene K. Although, he's got the articulations on the neck and the arms, including the head and the jaw. Although, the paint job looks similar to the movie himself. Although, the GMK has got the articulations on the tail. And speaking of all that, you may say that's a bootleg, although it is. And although next we've got Funko Pop Godzilla. Although Funko did a very good job at creating a Funko Pop figure. Although it's got the dorsal spines and it's got some feet. Somebody says that sometimes they basically thought that it's cute and cuddly. And, it's still a very good figure. I had to give our advice for that. Although, I basically hope that those eyes need to be painted a blue color. And this is Kumanga from the Godzilla series, even though he's basically from Son of Godzilla and Destroy All Monsters, although he makes an appearance directly in Godzilla Final Wars. So he's got some 8 legs. Although it's still a basically a modified kaiju. Although I've been basically again it's taking too hard for me to find them. Also, that's just the customized Godzilla figure. Although I used the T-Rex model, I used the T-Rex toy from the playset. Although I basically just drew some dorsal spines and then cut them out. And now he's got the Showa Godzilla figure, Showa Godzilla spines. Although, because of that sound effect, has the Godzilla roar. So that's the reason why I had to cut out had to use the paper and then started drawing the dorsal spines and then cut them out to make it look like Godzilla. Although some of the tape is basically coming off, which is not good. Anyways, we've got other. And actually got Mech X4, Harper's Beast, and Mech X4 monsters, basically from Disney XD's, actually from Disney's Mech X4. Although, first we'll be taking a look at Harper's Beast. Although, he's got the articulations on the arms, including the legs, and of course, the tail. Also, don't know if you can see it, it says Disney. And it says B, which might be standing for Bandai. So yeah, this is the Bandai figure based off of Disney's his official series that is on Disney XD called Mech X4. Next is the other Disney figure from Mech X4 called Wasp Million. Although he's basically similar to he almost resembled as Mechagoras, although I didn't have the Mechagoras figure from the movie called Godzilla vs. Mechagoras. Although Bandai did a very good job on that model. Although the design, the detail looks very good actually. Although it says Disney, and of course Bandai. Although because of the letter B, which stands for Bandai. Also, you got the other NECA figure that's called Shin Godzilla Atomic Blast. Although I basically give my personal about how somebody respects the opinions. Although the head on Shin Godzilla's got the bullet joint, and the articulations on the arms. Of course, the bullet joints on the legs. The bullet joint. And also, a bullet joint. Although it's a Shin Godzilla figure, you could basically, although Shin Godzilla Atomic Blast version came with the two different beams. Two atomic beam. Although trying to stick and look at that. Excuse me for a second. Although I don't have the purple gun on the right. Although I'll say that it's got the light purple, otherwise the pink colored dorsal spines. Although his jaw splits wide open, just like in the movie. Although his tail glue and then start shooting the the atomic beam. Same with his dorsal spines. Although, if you want to rewatch Shin Godzilla, then go on ahead on digital Blu-ray. Although Shin Godzilla has some deleted scenes in the features section, on his feature section. Although he's got the customized, not for sale Godzilla figure. Although it's got some red paint job, because I was trying to do some about the Godzilla figure, and his dorsal spines. I tried to make his dorsal spines, although I basically recognized that he's got three fingers, and he's got the dinosaur feet. Although he's got the tail. Although I basically tried my best on making a Godzilla model. Even though I am not selling my model, so don't ask. Before we get to the 2004 and the different variants, and the 2019 Godzilla and the piggy bank and the other stuff, I forgot to show the Jurassic World figure that basically goes into when you're taking a bath. Although it's got the Tyrannosaurus Rex model, although it's the bath globe, not a snow globe. I thought it's a snow globe, but it's a bath globe. I forgot. Now, moving on. We got a bootleg version of the Godzilla piggy bank. Also, they basically snatched the models from the official version, and it's got a new, where is it saying Godzilla, and then boom, and there's Godzilla 2002, and of course, a puppy paw. I think it's the animal paw. And although there's a ship. Although it's the Heisei Godzilla. And those are different sound effects. Even though Godzilla's got ears and a nose. There's Godzilla's music. And yeah. There's the Godzilla related music by Akira Ifukube. Rest in peace, Akira Ifukube. And Although still using a lot of Godzilla sound effects. Including the other sound effect where Godzilla stomps. There's the stomping sound effect. Although Toho did a lot of good job onto those films. Although Monster and Bunny said that there's a lot of nudity. Although the movie's been censored in the American edit, actually the American remake, including 1956 Godzilla King of the Monsters, featuring Raymond Burr. Next, we've got Godzilla 2019 by Jax Pacific. Although he's got the articulations on the arms and the legs, and of course, the tail. Although his dorsal spines had the 1954-ish. That was Grandma arguing. Although, anyways, Godzilla's got the dorsal spine similar to the 1954. Although, I watched Godzilla 2, King of the Monsters, which has Rodan, Mothra, and King Ghidorah, and the other monsters, including Titanus Behemoth. I did not know that there's going to be so many monsters. So many monsters. Although, the 2019's roar has the Toho-related roars, and was combined with the 2014 roar. Although, we've got the 2014 Godzilla by NECA. And speaking of all that, he's creepily large. Crud. Although, the 2014's head is similar to the movie itself. Although, he's got the 2014 looking feet. Of course, the 2019 one doesn't have those kind of feet. Although, the 2014 one has the dorsal spine color, and 2014 one has the Godzilla related dorsal spines does the 2014 ones. Although, I recognize that Mike Daugherty had to go ahead and try to just use the same model and then edited the dorsal spines to make it what Godzilla really was from 1954. Since it's the 24-inch Godzilla 2014 figure, he's got the sound effects. Although we get to the sound effects later, he's got the articulations on the arms and the legs and the head and the tail. Although, I include his jaw. Although, my finger's in the way. He's got some sound effects. Have a listen. I'll play it one more time. Although the 2014 one's got the almost Godzilla-ristic 2014 war. Although we've got the next is the 24 right is the 12-inch Bandai Creations Final Wars Godzilla. Although he's from the movie called Godzilla Final Wars. Although he's got the articulations on the arms, on both his arms, and his head, including his legs. Although there's 3 articulations on the tail. There's 1 articulation, 2 articulation, and 3 articulations on the tail. Although the way that the Final Wars Godzilla looked is exactly what was from the movie that came out in 2004. Although there's still some bootleg variants. We'll start out with Rainbow Yuango's Godzilla figure that they basically created. Although they stole the model. Although this bootleg version doesn't have any articulations, but he's got the Godzilla 2000 dorsal spines and the Godzilla 2000 eyes. Although he basically did not get any articulations. Although the paint job on the teeth does not look like what was from the Bandai. Although the model looks similar to Bandai. Although on Wikizilla there's some bootlegs. There's some bootleg versions of each of the kaiju, including Godzilla himself and Ultraman. Although this bootleg version of the 2004 Godzilla has the articulations on both arms and the legs. Although it's got the articulations on the tail. And that's it. Although he's got the silver spines, and the rest of the color is basically the red. And the way Godzilla's eye color looks is he's in a greenish color. And although Hong Chang took out the copyright labels because they basically stole the model from Bandai. Although same goes to Rainbow Yuango's Godzilla figures, and also some other figures. Although you have the manager King Kong. Although to me it's similar to the Kong Skull Island version. Although next is the Monsterverse Kong. And there he is, the King Kong model from the movie called Kong Skull Island. Lanyard did a very good job with that model. Although he's got the articulations on the head and his feet, of course his arms. Although the way that Kong looks in the film called Kong Skull Island. Looks very awesome. Although, King Kong might take out Godzilla in the movie called Godzilla vs. Kong. Just like how the short version basically had the King Kong takes out Godzilla back in the 1960s. Although it's a tie. Basically, in Universal Pictures edit, they basically just put on that ending where King Kong wins. Although next we got George from the movie called Rampage. And there he is, George, from the movie called Rampage. I still think that George is the albino gorilla because of what he looks like in the movie. Although in the original arcade version, George has some brown hair and those red eyes. Although in Total Destruction, he's still got the brown hair and he's got the yellow eyes. Although in the movie called Rampage, George has some blue eyes and he's basically the albino gorilla. And speaking of all that, George is basically got his favorite thing is George's favorite thing is to do the middle finger. My goodness, it's the middle finger. Oh, in the theaters, the people were laughing at what George was doing. Although George grew super big, and same goes to the crocodile named Lizzie. That was Rock grew, and the other one, and of course Ralph. And next is Kid Robot's Godzilla plushie. We've got the small one, and of course the vibrating one. Although, I kind of think how he's basically in a small. He's basically small. He's got the dorsal spines, some grayish dorsal spines. So yeah. Kid Robot basically bought the rights onto using Godzilla. So next, we've got the vibrating Godzilla plushie. Although I basically turned off the vibrator. Although here's the on and off switch, and once you read, it says this device complies with the part of the FCC rules. Although Kid Robot basically created a plushie that vibrates. They did a good job. Since Kid Robot bought those rights to use Godzilla by any sort of reason. I don't know, the reason why it's called the vibrator, and called the vibrating plush, cause what? Come on, it worked. I just turned it on. And oh, there he goes. Oh. He vibrates. And oh my goodness, I can feel the vibration when I put my hands onto it. And that is it. Make sure you subscribe to our channel for more. And we'll see you later. Galdra and peace out. And we'll continue to do our best onto having you support us on our Patreon.